Hello, my name's Niranjan, the host of Master of Your Crafts podcast. Learning from leaders who are continuously inspired, passionate, and driven to align with their soul purpose, sharing their gifts to bring healing to others. The music is composed by Rebecca Everett. Today is episode number 1, where we will be talking to Rona Wingwell and learn how she developed the mastery of art as her craft. Rona Wingwell was born in Slovakia, currently resides in Toronto as an apparel designer for Lovescape Art, Fine Art Fashions, and creates visionary paintings that celebrate love, life, and femininity. As a former professional dancer and dance teacher, Rona's stunning paintings are intrinsically choreographed with beautifully fluent form and razor-sharp lines. Her artistic medium of choice is acrylic paint applied to canvas. Rona's art invokes a sense of interconnection between all life forms. Simply put, her paintings celebrate love while exploring various aspects of life, death, femininity, motherhood, freedom, relationships, and the sanctity of sexuality. Rona's paintings offer joy, peace, harmony, sparkling the imagination to dream dreams and create anew. Hello and welcome to Rona.
Hello, thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. I'm honored to have you here on my show today. And
Yes.
I would love to learn some more aspects of what is it you bring to the world through your artistry. What do you believe about yourself? Does it really define you?
I believe that my coming to this world has a purpose, that I was a creation of miracle. We are all creations of divine miracle. My coming to this world, I'll tell you a little story of how it happened, and that's how I define myself, too. When my mom was pregnant with me, actually, when she found out she was pregnant with me, she had an IUD, which is about 97% accuracy. I mean, it works. And I was still able to be created because she was receiving contraception when I was created. She was also invited to have abortion done, which at that time in communist Slovakia wasn't that simple of a matter. It had to go in front of a committee, and a person would have to go and fight for the right to have the interruption. Because it was a mistake on a part of her contraceptive, she was just invited to go for the procedure one day, and on the morning of that day, she woke up and she got dressed and she went. But on her way to the hospital, she decided to go and have coffee with her friend and never made it to the hospital. So me knowing this story of how I came to be in this world, that my mom just didn't have to have me and could have gone with it because it was a really difficult time for her. She was in the midst of a divorce, and she really couldn't afford to go with pregnancy and, raise another child. And she already had my older sister. I believe that it's a miracle. And the fact that I am here has to have some kind of purpose. And I do believe that defines me. I believe that still. And I believe that when I was a child, as children, we all think that we have purpose. We know that we have a purpose to come here. And it's a great purpose. It's not something little. We know we are here for a great purpose. As it is often, children are right in that belief. As adults, we kind of sour up believing in that.
Yes.
But really, we are here for a great purpose, each single one of us.
That's beautiful.
So yes, I believe that he does define me.
Yeah.
And of course, sometimes I'm struggling to see that and go with it, but as we all, I try to remember it.
I'd be really curious to learn, if you are willing to share, what that conversation was with the woman that she met to have coffee with.
I don't think it had anything really to do. It wasn't that the person who she visited that talked her out of it. It was just something that she was invited to go to this procedure, and she got up and then just diverted her path. And because she really didn't want to go through it anyway. So,
okay.
I don't think it was anything that was said in that conversation. I think it was my mom's decision just to procrastinate until it was too late.
Well, also, I think opportunities like that will present themselves as potentially having some breathing room. So be it a decision you don't really want to take or is taking you out of your comfort zone, can offer some breathing room so you can reconsider.
Yes, exactly. And it was because it wasn't really her decision to do that, but because it was presented to her, because the IU didn't work. So it was presented to her as, here, you can come for this procedure. See you at 8 o'clock on Monday.
Right.
She decided, okay, I'll go have coffee first.
Yeah.
And here I am.
And here you are. Yes, celebrating. Absolutely. That's wonderful. We're so happy.
So I celebrate my mom. When it's my birthday, I always celebrate my mom because it was really her birthday.
That's right. That's true. That's very true. Yes. So from that, what do you feel is your calling? Is it the artistry?
The artistry is a vessel, really. My calling is love. Love is the reason to. We are all searching all life. We might be searching for that true love. If we find it or we don't find it, the true love really comes from within.
Yes.
The calling really is love, whatever form it is in. We are here to spread that. So much hatred around these days, especially since internet and TV, and everybody is being bombarded by fear this and fear that and hate this and hate this person. And, and it's cool to hate, especially if it's like a group session of hatred.
Right.
It is really taking us down to the path that humanity is not supposed to go. We are supposed to be here to love, because that's one great purpose for humans to be on this planet.
Right.
What other purpose would we have? The energy of love, it kind of goes in harmony with everything that was already created here, with nature, other creatures, with rocks, with everything that you see. It harmonizes with it. Yeah. When you go the other way, when you go towards the darker side, the fear and hate, it doesn't harmonize with anything that you see around in nature.
Yes.
To live in a harmony on this planet that we were created on, and we are native to, like to say that we are all native to this planet.
Yes, absolutely.
Because we are. We have to just try to bring that energy of love up and around.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, that absolutely is my calling. And it's not the art, path to creation, basically, is my purpose is not really to create the art to give it to somebody or to inspire somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I create the art because of the love of creation.
Right.
I really live in that creation. Where it comes from, the images that I put down, as if it was already created. Mm-hmm. It's already somewhere out there in the ether. It's already created, and I'm just the lucky one to bring it to life. I am the medium that the love uses to bring that image to life. Yes. So it can inspire others at the moment of creation. I'm not doing it with that purpose,
right,
in a way.
Right.
I'm doing it with a purpose to connect with the Creator itself.
Right. And love transcends so much more. When I came across your paintings, I definitely identified and felt the frequency and the energy around the love that's infused so deeply through every single stroke and every single color choice that you use for that artistry is definitely emanating beauty and love. Absolutely.
Well, I'm very happy that it does, because
Absolutely.
that's how it was created. Of course, I want people to be inspired by it, because I'm a messenger.
Absolutely.
Artist, as such, is a messenger of what they want to pass on.
Yes.
And my message is definitely love. And if people will stand in front of my painting and feel that, then they get infused by that and they can pass it on.
Mm-hmm. Well, it almost becomes somewhat of a healing piece of art, rather than having it as a traditional way of a healing modality. I guess it really is a healing modality because it is emanating at a frequency and a vibrational level. So much love. It hits us in the non-traditional way that we think of how to heal, right?
Yes, absolutely. And healing art is actually very much what we use as a terminology for this, because you can stand in front of a piece like that and it will make you harmonize with it, make your vibrations go up higher. It can help you heal very much.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's really magical of how you're able to translate that. So your mediumship and vesselhood is definitely needed in this world, for sure. When did you recognize this was such a big part of you?
That's a long story. It's not that long, actually. I was a ballroom dancer, as you read in the intro. I did art before. So I did ballroom dancing for many years. And when I stopped doing ballroom dancing, I was still teaching. Then I had 4 children.
Yeah.
And I stopped dancing because I had 4 children and I was giving my love and attention to them. Then I had to come back to Canada from Slovakia. So I was traveling Spain, Canada, Slovakia, and then I had to come back to Canada because of my youngest child, and he needed some special education, which is much better here. It's almost non-existent in Slovakia. Couldn't really get back into dancing and teaching dance, and I was a single parent. I had to get something going so that I would support my family financially.
Sure.
At the same time, I needed to be with my children in the afternoon. So because ballroom dance teaching happens always in the evening, afternoon and evening, I would be basically not home. So I had to find something else to do, and I enrolled in a college, was going to be physiotherapy assistant, and I finished college. As I was finishing the college in 2013, met my neighbor, actually. My neighbor who moved into the apartment that I moved out of. It's in the same complex. I moved into an apartment when I came from Slovakia, and then it kind of grew small because it was just 1-bedroom apartment and I had 4 kids. Somebody moved into our old apartment. And in 2013, my daughter came excitedly home and said, the guy that moved into our old apartment is an artist, and he told her that she can paint a painting. He really wants to paint a painting. We've been going around each other with this neighbor of mine for some time because we live in the same apartment building. That summer, actually, we met in a local pizzeria, and we had a beer, and I asked him if he can show him his paintings because he said he's an artist. So I was like, okay, I would like to see paintings. He took me to his apartment, my old apartment.
Yes.
I walked in. I was absolutely blown away because I walked into this room where there were paintings on each wall, every wall, and huge paintings. It was kind of like a mad transformation or transportation in a way, because it transported me to a place that I somehow was familiar with, as if I knew it from my childhood or somewhere, someplace I have been already. Meanwhile, I have never seen those paintings in my life. It reminded me of something, as if like I was living in a fairy tale, like when I was a little girl, and I would imagine these worlds and stuff. So I sat down on the carpet there in the middle of the room, and I started crying. I was just blown away with that. So later that month, my daughter painted a painting actually with Ritchie and So I would go and watch them do the painting, and then I painted my own painting in secret, the first one that I never showed. I've never shown anybody except Ritchie.
Okay.
He thinks it's wonderful, but I don't think so. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that painting, but it was just kind of so immature.
Yeah.
And he was so supportive and gave me a canvas right away, another one, and I started painting. And I've been painting ever since. But really, it wasn't as easy as that. That's kind of a quick story of how I started painting. But really what I started doing is drawing. I started drawing. I was in college going to become a physiotherapy assistant. I started drawing on the margins of the books and in my notebook and stuff like that, and just the little forms and stuff. I didn't think I was any good at art ever, actually. I was growing up, school system kind of pounding into you that you are either good at something or you are not good at it.
Right.
So I decided right from the beginning that I'm not good at art, visual art, because it was being told to me, or marked. I was not marked really well.
Okay.
So it was kind of scary. And I remember I bought myself a drawing pad, and it was really scary. I couldn't even draw in the middle of the page because it was too white and too big. So I started from the corners.
Right.
But then, I kind of continued doing it, even though it was a little bit uncomfortable always when I was facing white page. But I got comfortable with myself doodling around. I found it very therapeutic after the first scare of a white page. Let yourself go. And the more you do it, the more comfortable you get. And I believe that everybody should actually doodling whenever they can, because it's very therapeutic. Creating something instead of just taking it in. Instead of looking at a painting, do a painting. Instead of looking at a drawing, do a drawing. It gives you an extra healing power.
Yes, absolutely.
That's how I started doing visual art. You have to develop certain skills. In a way, I believe it helped that I was more mature. I already had a lifetime behind me.
Yes.
A few lifetimes. It feels like sometimes. When I think of all the lifetimes I went through. It gives you perspective that, when you're young, you have to try everything, and your mind goes, maybe I should do that, maybe I should do that, maybe I should do that. And there's certain calmness, lots of experiences that you went throughout your life.
Yes.
Ballroom dancing really helps because it's an art form, and it kind of gives you a fluidity of forms, any medium, if you are just doing the dancing or if you are doing the drawing.
Yes.
The fluidity is in there, and it attracts me to do fluid lines.
Right.
Anyway, that's my path.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing such a deep perspective on your experiences of what brought you to your craft. In terms of learning the craft and learning the tools to be able to finesse the art in itself, or just changing the mediumship, I guess, from dance to paint on a canvas. What was that internal dialogue like for you, overcoming the aspects of judgment from?
It was a long time ago. It is hard to overcome imprinted judgment that we all have when we receive it when we are little. I'm still trying to overcome judgmental remark that my music teacher gave me when we were singing. We have actually album of songs already, Ritchie and I. Don't do only paintings, we do music. I write the lyrics and he makes the songs, and it took me some time to get singing it actually because I was really shy. We all have those memories of childhood where somebody said something. It didn't even have to be meant as something bad, or the person didn't think that the child will remember it at all.
Yes.
But so we have to be mindful when we talk to children about things like that. Well, because it was so long ago, that helps a lot. But also because I wasn't actually doing it for anybody to see it. I was doing it for myself. And the reason why I overcame that, probably because I was creating these paintings, first of all, to live in them, to live in that world. I saw Ritchie's paintings, I saw my daughter do her painting, and I wanted to live in that world. Mm-hmm. And while you are creating a painting or while you are creating a drawing, you live in the world you are creating. If you don't invite somebody to come and tell you that this head is too big, or,
yes.
the leaf is not supposed to be green and not blue, then they have nothing to do there. So, if you are just solitarily creating your own world that you can live in and have your fantasies flow around, then it's perfect. All you have to do is overcome yourself to be with yourself and be comfortable with yourself. If you're not creating it for somebody, sometimes it is tough when you have a commission work to do. You kind of have to take into account that other person. But if you're not doing the commission work, you're doing just your own creation, then you just have to become comfortable enough to be with yourself.
Yes.
And I'm perfectionist, do and redo some things until it was perfect with me. So if it was flowing with me, I was fine.
Do you think that's a spin-off, possibly, from your dancing days?
Absolutely, yes. Yes. Yeah, I would perfect things. And yes, it is very much spin-off that. And as I said, I like flowing things. Everything has to kind of flow together as if it was dancing on a canvas.
Right.
So basically, I just changed the medium.
You did, absolutely, absolutely. And I love that. I love that piece that you shared, living in your world as you create whatever it is, be it a choreographed piece of dance or lyrics, music, art, a drawing, or even a doodle at the side of the page. It's your little world that you're living, residing in for that moment.
And you can share afterwards.
Yes.
It's always challenging. Because what if people say they don't like it? Is it going to change your perspective and change your relationship within that piece with you? That's kind of challenging occasionally. Yeah. It's the scary part. First of all, we all should create just for the creation and to be with ourselves in that creative way. We came here to create love, first of all. We didn't come here to destroy or to just consume.
What was it that gave you the realization, put you in the space of, I want to say, unconditional love for yourself and for others? Was there a certain situation that happened, or was it just from the back and forth of travel?
I think everything that he created that. Really, I was raised in a very loving family. My mom, 2 sisters, so we were 4 women living together. Loving grandma and loving aunt. There was lots of love around. Also, as a child, as we all do as children, I believed in that one love of your life that comes to you kind of at night. In shining armor on a white horse. We all believe and fantasize about that as children because it's right. That's the truth of it. This is what we came here to find, right around, and to give. We forget it as we go along. We forget it many times. We forget it forever. And we feel like we are hurt because we didn't find it. But really, where it is inside. And if we don't find it inside, then we can't receive it, because you can't receive what you don't have already inside.
That's right.
Did I carry that throughout my life? Perhaps sometimes I felt a little sorry for myself, but I didn't like that place. Not a very happy place to be if you feel sorry for something that is not going your way and you would blame somebody else for it. Much happier to just bring out of that and take it as part of life, and then you can be happy again. Love.
I love that. I love how you describe, so to come back to that place of self-love, come back to that place of really digging in your own well, finding your own space of love, wisdom that resides within you.
It's not that easy in a way. It's kind of easy from where I stand right now. But it's not that easy. I mean, in my life, there were some very tragic things that happened, very hard things, but where I could not look further than today. because tomorrow was too scary to look at.
Yes.
So I just took it one day at a time.
Yeah. I meant you describe it so easily. Everybody comes with some challenges to overcome.
Definitely, we all do.
That's right. And it's such a beautiful story and a message that you're sharing of we all have them, but we can make a conscious choice through the awareness that we have within ourselves, be it an art piece, or be it just listening to that inner voice of how does it feel? What does it feel like to be in that victim and negative space in your body? And you made a conscious choice as to, I don't like what that victim feels like.
And it has to be conscious choice because it's much easier, actually, like looking at people around. You see it all the time, every day. It's much easier to slip into that mode where you feel like this is happening to me and woe is me.
Yes.
It is very easy, and it's really hard to get out. It's easier to slip in. There's so much trauma in the world that it's so hard to be happy despite that. If we are not going to take the best of it, of what the world has to offer, then we are just going to be unhappy. So.
What is it that brings you back to center? That we live in an environment that has some pretty traumatic and toxic emotions and feelings and situations that happen. What is your practice, or maybe a couple of things you'd like to share that brings you back to your center, your loving space of Bronya?
I like to watch fairy tales.
Okay.
That's one quirk on the side.
I love that.
Everybody knows about me, so I'd never watch scary movies. I saw one time in my life, and unwillingly and unwantingly, I saw a horror movie, and that scarred me for life, I think. And since then, I do not like watching any kind of scary movies. Detective story with a little bit of tension is okay. Why is it's too much fighting? I prefer fairy tales. My happy place is I put a fairy tale on, and then I create.
Nice.
When I am in that space of creation, I am centered. And I can think of many different things when I'm doing that. Many times I put a movie on or fairy tale on or Star Trek Next Generation.
Oh, is that you enjoy the Star Trek?
Yeah, I watched that many times.
Oh, is that right? That's interesting.
Yeah, and because I already know the story, the characters, so it's easy to just listen to while I paint.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So what would be one of your most favoritable fairy tales?
Definitely, and my family knows about this. It's a Czech version of Cinderella.
Okay.
Yes, there's just one Czech version of Cinderella.
All right.
I'm not going to even say the name of it because it's in Czech.
Okay.
But Czech version of Cinderella, and it's a beautiful story where the Cinderella, she fights back a little bit. Let's say. Okay,
all right. So she's a little more real, let's say.
A little more real, but she has 3 hazelnuts that give her clothing, miraculously contain clothing. So she gets those miracle 3 hazelnuts. And that's the story of Cinderella. And that's such a beautiful story. And it's like romantic in the snowy forest. The Christmas movie that everybody knows from Christmas in Czechoslovakia, or the old Czechoslovakia.
Really takes you back to your own roots, right? In Slovakia. Yes.
Yeah, especially since it's beautiful. It has beautiful music, and it's kind of like me, because, well, more about that story that reminds me of me. That's why it's my favorite, I guess.
Yeah.
Because as a little girl, I used to climb trees. I used to actually not just climb trees. I used to spend my whole day in a tree. I would climb a tree, my sister too. When we were sitting up in a tree, we would just create stories, just talk about it, pretend we are demigoddesses. Meant it was perfect because we could have many lives. Every time we played, we had created a different story. And all of this would be happening either in a tree or around a tree.
Beautiful. That's beautiful.
And this Cinderella in that movie climbs a tree, and it's kind of like myself when I was a little girl, or
right.
how I perceived myself, kind of a radical climbing trees. But dreaming of that true love.
That's beautiful. And I find it so interesting how you connect with nature, be it the tree in that form, and a lot of your paintings are inspired through nature and the elements that is offered there. So I think that's a beautiful connection. I also find it really interesting how you are raised by so many women.
Yes.
That's such a powerful part.
And very wise women. Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom was a cellist.
Okay.
Is retired. She doesn't play cello anymore, but she was a cellist. I was brought up with music all around me all the time. Yeah.
That's beautiful. It's no wonder that you are embracing the arts and are relishing the beauty and the offering that it offers so deeply, because you've been nurtured in it.
Yes. I definitely was.
Yeah, absolutely. Is that indicative of, let's say, your sister? Does your sister and your aunt, everybody have an element of an art that they...
Yeah, it's actually interesting what my sisters and my aunt was a singer, actually pop singer in Slovakia, well-known pop singer. My grandmother was midwife, but the old style of midwives that when they went from village to village. And my grandfather was blind. He was a piano tuner, and he made furniture and baskets, wicker baskets.
Wow.
Furniture, and you wouldn't know that he's blind, but he was.
Wow.
My older sister is a doctor of art.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so she's an artist.
Yes.
And my younger sister was a zookeeper. Now she does something else, but she's a great guitar player and singer. So all throughout the family, we are kind of creators and unusual. Nobody is doing anything in the office.
Well, you're probably one of the few families out there who are like that. I think there's a lot of folks who are somebody sitting at a desk at a computer somewhere.
Yes.
Yes. I imagine you're sharing this and nurturing in the same way that you was nurturing with your own children.
Oh, yes. My oldest son, he's actually, cook was. Now he's staying at home dad with his first son. My second son is studying to be a filmmaker. He wants to be a director of photography. That's his dream.
Beautiful.
So he knows his ways around camera already. Then I have a 17-year-old daughter and 15-year-old son. My daughter is the one who painted a painting with Ritchie, and she's a creator. She creates whatever comes around.
Yes.
One day she wants to do one thing, another day she wants to do another thing. She likes to bake.
Okay.
Yeah, that's something that she has from me, actually. I love baking too. Cooking too, but baking is more creative.
Yes, I guess. Yes.
I guess.
That's right.
Yeah, and my youngest son also is inclined and to do art.
Yeah.
He's gonna study art probably.
Beautiful.
Yeah, creation is very important for anybody and everybody. That's what should be taught in schools. Kids should be taught to just doodle and create whatever comes into their mind, really. You should take the mind off it, actually. Whatever comes through them and onto the paper or canvas.
Absolutely.
One thing I was going to say about creation, when people want to start in art, doodling or painting, is that you have to learn, and that's how it becomes a meditation more than just a creation. Mm-hmm. You have to take away the head from what you're doing. A recipe for meditative drawing would be take a paper, take a pen or a pencil if you want, and don't think. Mm-hmm. Put a movie on and just start doodling. Whatever forms come out, just fill up the paper with whatever forms. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be anything specific. It doesn't have to have anything that you would recognize outside. Just let go of a thought. As soon as you start thinking and trying to premeditate what you are going to be doing, it's not flowing as much through you. So whatever you are trying to become this flow.
Yeah.
Obviously. But the flow doesn't flow if the head is in the way.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So if you want to pull something out of the ether and bring it onto the paper, you have to bypass the head.
Yes. The head is where all the thinking happens, and that's what disables us often.
Yeah, it has to go through the heart and out.
That's right. So what do you believe about yourself?
That's a big question.
I know, it is a big question.
There are many things I believe about myself. I believe that I am a good person. I believe that I came here for purpose. I believe I'm trying my best to fulfill that purpose. Mm-hmm. But I might not even know what the purpose is. Yes, I believe I'm here for purpose, but it may be the purpose is somewhere beyond me that will be hopefully and perhaps brought to somebody else, somewhere else, sometime else by my painting and what I leave behind. Mm-hmm. Yes, I believe I have a purpose here to spread love and pass it on.
Yes, absolutely. So what's next?
What's next?
Yeah, so you've done so much, I want to say, and being able to create such a beautiful environment and space in what you do, be it through the dance, be it the artistry, the fashion line that you have, the healing through art, the music, the singing, the lyrics. What's next for you?
I'm not sure. Well, we want to definitely, Ritchie and I want to record our songs.
Okay.
If not for the world, but just for the two of us, because they need to be recorded. They're so beautiful. There's so much love, and there's such a great message in them that it would be a shame if they would be not recorded. So we have to do that. Immediately next, whatever I will grab, I will paint.
Okay.
The other day, I found an old boogaboo stroller beside the garbage.
Yes.
And I thought, boogaboo stroller, that's a really good stroller. Somebody just probably forgot it there. When I came back about 2 hours later from shopping, it was still there. So I thought, oh, that's too good to pass. So I took it home, I fixed it up, I painted the roof. You can see it on my Facebook. So I painted the roof of the boogaboo, gave it to my son and daughter-in-law for their son. We already had a stroller, but, this one is nicer.
That's beautiful.
So, to me, a thing like that, sitting beside the garbage, it's like crying. It has a soul already that somebody put in it, in a way, so to speak. Mm-hmm. When the baby was going in the stroller and it was used in Toy Story.
Yes.
The toys have their life. It feels to me, it's a shame that this useful thing was used by somebody in a loving way and held the baby, and now it's thrown out. Right. And the same thing with chairs, paint, whatever, looks nice and needs to be given an extra boost and a new soul.
Yeah.
So it can be used again.
Another purpose.
I had actually a kind of a fun idea to have a reality show where people throw out things in front of their houses all the time, like old chairs, old tables and stuff. It would be fun to take that chair or table, take it home, paint it up, and then bring it to them and ring the bell.
Yes.
And, just to see their reaction.
To see their reaction and see if they
still want to throw it.
That's right, if it goes back in the house or not.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's a good idea.
I know. I have never done that, but it takes a little longer than overnight to paint.
I would imagine. I would imagine, yes, I would imagine. Yeah. So this is a beautiful share. I really want to say a heartfelt thank you for you sharing so deeply and so profoundly your journey and your wisdom, your love through this call, and something that drives you and is your mission to heal so much and so many that are seeking it. So thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you very much for having me and spread the message of love.
Absolutely. I'm honored to be able to do that. So thank you again so much for that.
Thank you, Naranja.
I'm Naranjan, and you've been listening to Master of Your Crafts podcast. Please subscribe, rate, and review, and join me next week for another episode. Thank you for listening.